So how did this Bigfoot obsession started at first for you?
Okay, we recorded the sounds because it kept coming back, and turn my volume up a little bit. Yeah, we took a investigative reporter up there in 1972, and he was looking for a hoax. Actually, somebody tricking him or tricking us, and anyway, got caught up in it too because he started experiencing the same thing we were, the anomalies and the sounds, and he recorded them also on cassette recorders. And those recordings, eventually he fostered the studies at the University of Wyoming here in the United States. And later on, we had a cryptolinguist from the Navy who retired as a specialist in sound, uh, listened to sounds to see if it was a code or if it was a language. He discovered language within these sounds that we recorded. These things were chattering back and forth amongst themselves. So that's how it kind of goes. I'll pause for a minute. Yeah. The sounds were recorded by all of us. There was 5 of us at the camp, or a hunting camp. We weren't looking for Bigfoot. We was looking, it was a hunting camp. So really, the sounds have been studied by science. They've been established as being representing an animal compared to the human vocal mechanism, 8 foot tall, at least the one of them that he studied. And then you got the cryptolinguist, said they have a language. And we used cassette recorders. That's all we had in the 70s, was cassette recordings. And anyway, I had them fostered. Al Berry, the investigative reporter, we took in, fostered the studies. And that's really kept going, got me interested and kept going because there was a lot of mysteries associated with them too, not just the vocalizations, but other things happening up there. Yes.
Real nice.
Yes.
Nasıl?
And how do you say yes in your language?
Evet.
Hadi.
Peki nasıl? Yani
And
detay
it was
alabilir
about,
miyiz?
let me tell you how, it was about probably 75, 80 yards away. And I was recording that night, and one of them was outside, and one of them, I say outside, we had a shelter we were normally in. They started interacting with us while we were outside. This is 1974. And I seen it coming down through the trees to where 2 others were down by the creek, an adolescent and a mother, we think. We didn't have video recordings, and I think if we had we wouldn't. These are very intuitive, they're very smart beings, whatever they are. And we just had tape recorders. It was 1974. This started in 1971. So I took a little cassette recorder. It was in the saddlebag of my horse, and I took it out and started recording when they started interacting with us outside. They were yelling at me and saying something. I don't know what it was, but so no, we didn't. We had cameras with us, but it was night and bright moonlit night. And anyway, we never have been able to get a picture. Not really. It was a moonlit night, and it was moving very, very, very fast. And it was almost going through the trees like it was just above the ground or something. It was like floating so fast and very inhuman-like. And it was, I could just tell you, it was on 2 legs, going very fast. And I could not see any details of its face. My daughter has seen them very well 3 times up there. But I did not get a good clear picture of its face. And it was going down there where the other 2 were, a small one, we think, and a mother, we think. So it's just how tall it was, probably 9, 10 foot tall, be my guess. But I didn't run out there and measure it.
Thank you.
The film? What do I think of the film?
Yeah.
I think it's a real film. I think there's different types of these things around the world, really. I've been around the world studying this stuff for over 50 years, and there's different kind of these beings because I think there's been alien intervention into the genome of different species. And I think the Patterson film, whatever it was more human-like because from crossbreeding with indigenous people from eons ago, a long time ago. That's what I think a lot of them are diluted down and do different things than what other ones do. And I do get into aliens because I believe that they have been here. I've seen a UFO up there once, and there's an alien connection with some of these Bigfoot creatures, if not all of them.
Mhm. So, in this time, with our advanced technologies, with HD cameras, with photo captures, why can't we still catch Bigfoots, both photographically and in real life? So, you talked about aliens. Uh, Thinking about this context, would you maybe say they are connected, aliens and Bigfoots? Or if not, do you think Bigfoots have some kind of paranormal powers? Maybe not paranormal, but telepathically and telekinesisly powers, maybe.
Yes, they do. They read your energy. We're all energy, frequency, and vibration. All of us are, all humans. And they can tune into your frequency. They can connect with you. And I believe that they are also able to reach a frequency to change their matter into energy. And that is done scientifically through the Hadron Collider in 2012, that's called antimatter. And when they change their matter into energy, you won't see them anymore of our light's frequency. We all see within a frequency, and that's very limited compared to what all the other frequencies are.
Mhm. So, Bigfoots, you said they talked. Can they chat like humans to each other? Do they respond to each other? Or do you think they talk telepathically in their minds? Do you have any different
Yes,
information about those? And we always hear that Bigfoot sightings, people that saw them say that they look at each other and for some time, Bigfoots turn their back and go away. So, in that context, can we say Bigfoots are harmless or are they harmful when you think about people that go missing in the forests? There are thousands of them every year. Have you ever heard a Bigfoot attack? Anything like that?
yes, I have. uh, see, your first question was, I forgot what your first question was.
First question was, can they talk like humans
Oh,
to each
yes,
other? Can
yes,
they have a chat?
yes, absolutely. We've established that through the science. They do have a language, which is very unique because it's a very complex language. It's been transcribed by the Navy, United States Navy cryptolinguists, and they have sapient speech, which takes them into, they have a human component. The ones we dealt with in the Sierras do. I can't speak for all of them because not all of them are the same. And that's the second question. Some of them are aggressive and some of them are not. Depends on what influence them and what agenda they have. I think some of them are here to probably help humans. And if they can tune into your frequency, they can help you. If you can listen, you got to learn how to listen. Though that gets into how we're made. But if they do chatter, and they do chatter, and this has been documented by other people who heard them, mainly Fred Beck in 1924, and also Albert Osman in Canada. They heard them chattering, and that's what we heard was chatter, very rapid speed, and they can be aggressive, but the ones we dealt with are not aggressive. They wanted to communicate with us. And I've got quite a bit of information on that. It's all been recorded. You can hear the sounds. We've recorded the sounds, and they do have a language, and that means there's a human component to them. What we were dealing with.
So you said that they can connect your energy and help you, the Bigfoots. What kind of a help? And have you ever heard of a case like that?
Yes, several. In fact, that's very common. It's all about frequency. If they can find everything is frequency, and if you can find the frequency of anything, you can change its matter, or you can deal with it. That's according to Einstein, and these things are able to do that if you have an open mind to it and can relax and let them see. Nothing is supposed to interfere with us here. We have our own decisions to make on every instance that happens. That's what life is about, as far as I'm concerned. That's how we respond to stuff. So responding to things is what we're here to do, and respond to them well. We're supposed to. They're not supposed to interfere. So that's why you don't see them interfering so much unless they can speak to your spirit inside of you, and that's through mind speak.
So in health matter, do they help people find their way or anything like that?
There's been a couple of reports like that. There was a young boy lost in Yosemite who said that a bear kept him alive for 3 nights before they found him. And bears don't do that. So he didn't know what a Bigfoot was, and he just knew it was a big hairy thing. So not too many, because they're not supposed to really interfere with anything that goes on with you. They did interfere with us, but everything has its own choices to make, and even Bigfoot. So they can choose to interact with you, or they can choose not to. A lot of that would depend on your frequency, what kind of vibration you're putting out. They're like a people. They are very unique, though. They are probably, well, some of them, they're not all the same. I'll say that again. I think a lot of them have been here since before humans, created by alien beings who have been here before humans. In fact, you got a lot of information not in Turkey. Göbekli Tepe and some other things that you have over there. Very unique country. I want to go there someday. And but anyway, they are, I think, a lot of them are hybrids, cross between humans and a primate of some type. And depends on how long they've been here and what agenda, what created them, because different type of aliens have been on this planet. I've witnessed a lot of their remains and things from different parts of the world. So they are a hybrid. Some of them can speak, some of them have abilities that others don't have, maybe because it's recessed because of their crossbreeding so much with humans. And we're recessed with all our abilities. We have a lot more abilities as humans than we have evolved into.
Or they might have lost those as an evolutionary process, maybe.
I'm not sure they lost them. They just are recessed, because I don't think humans have lost them either. We just haven't learned how to reach them yet through the construct of our being.
Uh-huh. So just like us, they eat both plants and maybe meat.
Yes. And some have been known to, at least in historical records, that they've been eating people too. Some of them. That again depends on who made them, what their agenda is. Even humans have been known to eat human flesh, so depends on that. But mostly their diet is deer, elk, whatever and plants, and whatever they're able to get. They eat like we do. We left food out for them. They would take our food and eat it, and sometimes argue over it. And they will eat anything like we do. One time we had, this is funny. Here's something funny. We had a bowl of Jello that we made and put in the snow to coagulate, and a big spoon over here in the stew that we'd eaten, and we left some of the stew out for them with the spoon in it. And later that morning, if they came in that night and started making the sounds and doing something over there, which was eating, all the stew was gone. The big spoon that was in the stew was over in the Jello pan, and all the Jello was gone.
So the spoon was gone too?
No, the spoon was in the Jello.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
One more thing. One time we left some, thinking they ate like a bear would eat anything. Well, that's what we thought. We left some meat out that we had up there, some lunch meat that we had from a couple weeks before that was tainted, not good. So we left it out for them to eat, and they buried it over in a sand pile. So they don't like bad stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So do you
I'm talking
show
about
it
I'm just talking about the ones we dealt with. Keeping that in mind, because they're not all the same.
in a religionist matter? In our religion, in Islam, we believe in some creatures. They are talked about in Quran. So we have Yejuj and Majuj. Maybe you heard them, and we believe in some creatures underground. And people say that there is a depiction, not like a depiction, but uh, there's a passage that talks about Bigfoot in the Bible. Have you ever heard that? And if you heard that, what do you think about it?
Yes, I think possibly when they're here in our environment, they can't go underground. In fact, you've got a city in Turkey that's underground. You know, I forgot how it starts with a D. I
Mhm.
can't pronounce it, but it shows they got another one in Malta just like that. Not quite that big, but anyway, I think they can go underground, and they probably do when they're here. Uh, I forgot now what. Sorry.
I mean, we don't particularly say that they go underground. We just say that we believe in some creatures that go underground in Islam. They are depicted in Quran. We don't say that they are Bigfoot, but
uh-huh.
just like it is depicted in Quran, people say that Bigfoot is depicted in a passage in Bible as well. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard about that?
Yes, I've read about that. That's the first thing I went to when I ran across these beings in the Sierras. I went to our Bible and see where giants came from. Yes, I read quite a bit about giants. There's a lot of information on giants in our Bible, and so they are out there. They are here now, and they have been here before for a long, long time. And anyway, yeah, I have heard those stories, and I do believe that yeah, we all have stories like that. Pretty much every historical document has got stories about giants and how they got here. I do believe in evolution. You know how we evolved, but something else has changed the DNA in the primate's genome for Bigfoot, and we're hybrids. Humans are hybrids because God made us. Whoever God is. God is a universal consciousness, and I think we just have to become one with that. And I think you can become one with it. I think that's probably what your Quran says too, because when you pass on, your body will die. There's no doubt about that. But something else, your etherical part does not die, and that's what can go on according to physics. And it doesn't die. It can't die. So I thought I'd throw that in there.
Mhm.
The one I experienced because I heard him at the same time I saw him. And that was a very big night for me because I communicated with him or tried to for over an hour. And that was 1974. That was my biggest night there. We've been recording them for year after year and getting glimpses of them, but just fading glimpses. So I wondered if they were cloaking, if they were perhaps out of our visual range of perception, or if I just didn't get there in time. But we tried to see them several times. We tried to trick them several times. Never could trick them with a camera trap. We only captured their sounds and get glimpses of them rarely, but very rare.
Mhm. So was there any stories of someone shooting Bigfoot or exploring their sites? I
Uh,
am asking you, was there any story of someone shooting a Bigfoot or exploring their site? I am
yes.
asking this to you as well. Have you ever encountered their sites? I'm not talking about people like Rick Dyer. They were lying about shooting Bigfoot. Do you have any stories that you trust?
Well, I trust the story from Fred Beck from Mount St. Helens in Oregon, and he had been dealing with these things for quite a while. Him and some other miners back in the hills there, and he said that they would have had to jumped 160 feet. That's a long way to not left another track. And later on, he ended up seeing one and he shot it. And claims he did not miss, and it fell off a cliff backwards. And when they went down there, it was gone. So you've got that story, which I do trust that one because he took in a bunch of investigators to. Anyway, he says they're paranormal because they can disappear, but do they disappear or just go out of our range of sight? What's the difference? And then I got let's see, other ones I'm going to tell you. Yeah, there's other stories that about them being shot. Actually, Daniel Boone, he was a big in the 1800s here, claimed to have shot one. And he said when he opened it up, because he had to shoot it in the head to kill it. And he wondered why his son didn't kill it when he shot it. And this is, you know who Daniel Boone was? He's a famous guy. It was here years ago, and a long time ago. And he opened the chest up and said it had a solid plate on its chest, and the bullet didn't penetrate it. So the only way you kill it, and that's what he did, was shoot it in the head. And supposedly that's how the Kandahar giants got shot. The only way they could kill it was to shoot it in the head. So that's the vulnerable part if you have to shoot one. But I don't encourage that because they don't want to get shot. Anyway, there has been reports of people shooting these things. And the Kandahar giant, there was not too long ago. That's only been 2003, I think, maybe 2005, something like that.
What was the thing you said in 2003?
I think it was the Kandahar giant over in Afghanistan that the military flushed out of a cave system, and huge. And the way they shot it killed one of them, and they hauled it off in a big helicopter, and they said it was really big, 15 feet, they said. But there can't just be one. There has to be more than one. So I'm wondering what they're doing about that, because you can't find anything else about it. The military or the government won't tell you about what things they can control, and they make fun of it, one or the other. But if they can't control you, they'll control you. That's what creates our box that we're in, our conditioning.
So you said that one of them shot them both in the chest and then the head, right? Daniel Boone.
Yes.
So
Daniel Boone shot it, but it didn't die. And Daniel Boone and his son were hunting, and Daniel Boone heard the shot. He went over to see what his son might be shooting at, and this Bigfoot, he described it, had his son and was throwing him down on the ground. And he shot the thing, but he shot it in the head, and that's what killed it. He wondered why his son couldn't kill it when he shot it in the chest. He opened up his chest, and it was a solid plate there.
yeah, he's asking about where did the body go?
Oh, who knows? I don't know. It happened a couple hundred years ago, so
1800s.
yes. Whenever Daniel Boone was there, I'm not sure. It's all in a book, and it's a very interesting story. Yeah, some of those old timers, a lot of Native Americans here have stories about these things. And a lot of them said they took their wives, so they crossbred with them. And that's why I get the dilution factor. I think that a lot of them have been diluted down into more human-like form. And so they're not quite as big. They're probably 7, 8 foot tall. And you get into the Himalayas, they're only 6 foot tall, average. So some of them are bigger than others. And they just have different attributes to them.
Uh-huh. Have you ever heard of a story like, let's say that someone shot a Bigfoot, they have the body, they call the police, and just like in UFO cases, government comes in and secretly ends the thing. They take the body and they don't let anybody talk. So, have you ever heard about something like that in Bigfoot matter?
Not that I could verify, because they cover it up if they did. Uh, a lot of people I've interviewed that said they had them in the scope of their rifle but couldn't shoot because they looked too human-like. The faces are very human-like. So no, I can't say that I have, other than I do believe the government knows about these things. You got the case of Mount St. Helens when it blew up, the eruption when it erupted in 1980, I think it was, and claims that they took some bodies off of there. But again, I have not verified that. I don't know. A lot of people say that as a fact, but I think our government does know about them. In fact, I'm pretty sure they do. But if they can't control it or explain it, they will control it or make fun of it.
So, have you ever heard about the Dyatlov Pass in Russia?
Yes.
And if you heard about it, there are some theories that say that the Bigfoots were responsible of it. What do you think about it?
I heard the story. I don't know. I think there's a theory that they were. It's been examined and thought about for years and years. So I don't know. I can't chime in on that because I just don't know. I don't know if anybody knows. They've speculated that maybe it was a Bigfoot-like creature.
Mm-hmm. So there are other creatures that people say that they see and they believe that there is, like Loch Ness monster and other things. Hangisini demiştiniz?
Mothman,
Mountain,
Mothman, Jersey şeytanı.
Mothman and Jersey Evil. So do you believe in those as well?
Well, as far as what I believe, I do believe that aliens can mess around with what's here on this planet. And if they can make a dog man, they can make a moth man, they can make a swamp man, they can play around with whatever they want to. They have the genetic technology to do that. So I don't disbelieve it's something, but I'm not saying I believe it all, but I don't have a reason to not believe it. If aliens want to do something like that on this planet, they will do it. They experiment with us and different species. Could be a hybridization program to get their species acclimated to this environment. I can't give you a number because there's been hundreds of them, if not thousands, of reported, specifically, mostly in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. But every country has those sightings, and every country has reports like yours does. I never knew that there was something out of Turkey like this till you told me. Kind of interesting. I'd love to be there and see some of that and examine some of it. But anyway, yeah, Pacific Northwest, but they have them all the way through the United States. Just about every state has a story about these things. Mostly back here, it's the dog man. They have those down in Tennessee state and Kentucky, and the people see them quite regularly, just as often as they see Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest. So there's a lot of people interested here because hundreds of people are seeing these things, and they're coming to these conventions that I speak at, and they're very, very interested in what's going on now. I try to get into the etherical part, which is really where this all leads me. It leads me into quantum physics, which says that we don't end. Our energy that we're made out doesn't end, and how to respond to experiences that we're here for with love and compassion. And if we don't do that, we're never going to raise our vibrational frequency to get into what we want to be into when this life passes on.
What if I say to Ronald that I want to go to hunting and see the Bigfoot? What would he recommend to me? What would he say that you should totally do or be careful about, or any tactics maybe?
Yeah.
What can you say to me about that? What if I want to?
Meditate for 40 days in the wilderness with your pineal gland, your heart, and your mind. Get those balanced and those sync so they all vibrate right. And they'll either contact you or they won't. It depends on your vibrational frequency, your motives, and all that, because they read your energy. Your energy is very important. If you have good energy and you're in the right spot, I think they can probably, but you have to be consistent with what you're doing. So you sit down on a rock for 40 days, you'll probably get some attention. You don't get eaten. But it's a wild, wild world out there. We're living in some really interesting times. So my final word, I think that I would want to say is everybody should understand that these are critical times on this earth history. We're here to make things better, not to make things worse. Unfortunately, humans are a warring species, and we want to kill things we don't understand. And I disagree with that totally, but that's the way a lot of us are. So I think we got to learn to qualify ourselves for this planet, because if we don't, we're going to lose it. And there's aliens ready to take it over or help us, working with us. So we just have to keep our vibrational high with love and compassion and be good to everybody else. And I think that's my final word for what I could say to somebody. You're not going to die, so if you don't learn it on this lifetime, you got to learn it another one somewhere. Oh, ronmorehead.com is my website. And if people read the English, it's all in English. They can be downloaded, my books. It's ronmorehead.com.
So that was a legendary talk we had. Thank you for that at first. So thank you again for your legendary informations. And if you can, I will leave a link down below on my video for your book where they can purchase it. So it can be an Amazon link maybe or any other site. I will be very happy if you can provide me with that after the video talk.
Okay.
And I hope this friendship of ours will continue. And if you need anything, maybe as an information, or if you maybe come to Turkey as a need, if you ever need anything, I will be happy to help, and I will be happy if you can contact us. We will be always here for you. And thank you again as myself, and thank you on behalf of my subscribers.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And he hopes you have a great life ahead of you.
Oh, what's left of it? Yeah. I'm in my 80s now, so yeah.
Oh, you don't look like that at all. Mhm. So he says that you look very young, and he wishes on you to keep on exploring and going after your beliefs. So I think this so going after your beliefs and reading more and more uh, keeps your soul young. So
Yeah.
me myself, I do look at hoaxes, uh, fake deaths, these mysterious events, and I have also been a director for a movie, and I also develop games, and this, so reading and experiencing and exploring, this is what keeps our souls young. And I hope that you will go after these, your beliefs, until the end of your life.
Say it. Life.
So do you have anything more to say, sir?
Um, there's a lot more, but it's all in my books, and I can talk for hours about it. But it's just no. I mean, love and compassion. Just be good to everybody else, and don't consider yourself as a victim. Because nobody's a victim. You either learn from something or you win. We learn from everything, so we're all winners.
Thank you again for your time.